July 27th is a very important day with a big announcement. I have all the details and everything you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, yet again, we have some more very important days upon us, and on July 27th, we're going to be getting a very big announcement we certainly want to pay attention to because this one is going to impact literally everybody. So in this video, I want to discuss all the details as far as what we can anticipate hearing with this big announcement on July 27th and how this is going to impact everybody going forward. So we have a lot to talk about right here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. I'm doing all the research each and every day and breaking it all down into these short videos, which I deliver a couple times throughout the day so you can stay updated with what is actually going on right now during this very busy time, especially with all these new bills, pieces of legislation, reform, money, benefits, programs, stimulus, checks, and anything else coming out of the president, the administration, Congress, lawmakers, and so many other people out there right now. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day, as that's my commitment, and I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and discuss all the details about July 27th and why this day is so incredibly important, as well as that big announcement we can anticipate. All right, so inflation, our favorite word that all of us have been talking about and dealing with for a long time now. Now, this whole video is not about inflation, but I do want to talk about this here for just a second because that is going to be one of the key indicators as far as this announcement on July 27th. So when it comes down to it, inflation continues to rage on higher and higher and higher, and it seems like nobody with the authority to do something about it has a clue on what they should actually be doing to actually lower this inflation. Seems kind of weird, but I guess that's just the world that we're living in right now. They don't have a clue what they're doing and how to get ahead of this inflation. However, as a result of that, the Federal Reserve has been aggressively raising interest rates with their last few FOMC meetings to actually try to get ahead of some of this inflation and lower it down. Well, as a result of that, on July 27th, they're going to be wrapping up their next FOMC meeting, which, by the way, they have these meetings every 6 weeks. Well, the next one happens to be on the Tuesday, which is the 26th, and Wednesday, the 27th. It's always a 2-day meeting. Well, they wrap it up on the 27th, and then the chairman of the Federal Reserve is going to be coming out, Jerome Powell, with the official announcement as far as what they've decided on interest rates. Now, why do we care about this, and what is this going to mean for everybody? First off, we really care about this because they are pegging the interest rates going forward on virtually pretty much everything. Pretty much anything, any kind of loans, debt products, any type of financial products that somebody may have that has an interest rate tied to it, it's probably going to be impacted unless it is a fixed rate. For example, like a fixed rate 30-year mortgage, or maybe an auto loan that has a fixed rate, or some type of other types of loans that have fixed rates. But those types of products out there, including, like, for example, credit cards, auto loans that are not fixed, adjustable rate mortgages, home equity lines of credit, personal loans, student loans, all kinds of these products that maybe do not have a fixed rate loan on them. This is going to be impacted because interest rates are going to be higher. Therefore, it means we're going to be paying more interest on the debts that we are carrying. So thank you very much. We're going to be paying even more. All right, so as a result of that, let's talk about what the Federal Reserve is anticipated to do based on what the analysts and the experts are thinking out of the Federal Reserve. This is pretty big because here's what it's coming down to. The latest information that I've been reading on this, they are anticipating that the Fed is going to come out with a 100 basis point hike in interest rates with this next meeting. Now, what does this mean? 100 basis points is 1 full percentage point. That's massive when it comes to the Federal Reserve. Don't get me wrong. 1% alone, when we just look at just plain old just 1%, 1% is not that much. But when it comes to raising interest rates with one single meeting, 100 basis points is massive. Let me put it back into perspective. In mid-June, they had their last FOMC meeting. During that meeting, they raised interest rates by 75 basis points or 0.75%, 0.75%. That was the biggest interest rate hike that they had had since 1994. So 28 years prior was the last time that they had a hike that big. So when we come down to 100 basis points, this is possibly historic. This is huge, right? So We care about this, number one, because this is going to raise the price on virtually everything. So any types of loans or debts that we have out there that don't have a fixed rate loan on them, that don't have a fixed interest rate, it's going to be impacted. It's going to be moving higher as a result of this decision. That's why we care, number one. Number two, we care because if this actually works for the Federal Reserve to lower inflation as a result of their efforts with jacking up interest rates, then again, this is a very aggressive move from the Federal Reserve. A very, very aggressive move. This is like never. They never do this, okay? When it comes down to raising interest rates, they virtually never raise rates at 100 basis points. Okay, so it's a huge, huge move, okay? So when it comes down to it, as the Federal Reserve is going to be doing this to try to get ahead of this inflation, we got to watch all this stuff because it's all coming down to, number one, lowering inflation. Hopefully, it's certainly not working very quickly if that's their plan. And number two, also, it's going to raise interest rates on any debts that we are having out there. And again, that just means that we are all paying higher. So on one hand, we're paying more when we go to the stores to buy all the things that we need because of inflation. Thank you once again to them and all their policies that are not working. And then once again, we get to pay more on the balances that we're floating on maybe our credit cards or things like this because we go out to the stores, we pay for all of the inflated products with their inflated prices, and then we cannot pay our balances because virtually nobody has any money right now. And then once again, we are paying even higher interest rates. Do you see how this equation is not working? Yeah, it's not working. I'm not sure anybody that thinks logically how this could possibly work for any person out there right now. And again, you've heard all the videos recently where I continue to come out and I see all these reports on a regular basis, report after report after report saying, virtually nobody has money right now. The vast majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now. And as you continue to work your way down the income scale and work your way down into fixed income beneficiaries, it just continues to get worse and worse. As many of you know, right here in this community, low income and fixed income by far are being hurt the most by all of this going on right now with this inflation and, of course, interest rates. That's not good either. In fact, I've even been seeing reports lately that points to this exact thing out that I'm just talking about right now, which is inflation, number one, is bad for everybody. It hurts and is the worst for the low income and fixed income. But then on top of it, if the low income and fixed income need to maybe take out a personal loan, which hopefully you don't have to take out a personal loan right now, but if the low income and fixed income are floating balances on credit cards, which many people are doing right now, unfortunately, then it just costs more to maybe carry a balance. If you happen to carry a balance, then guess what? You're going to be stuck with even higher inflation going forward. So it's really not setting anybody up to get ahead these days with these policies that are in place and all of this that's going on right now. It is really, really putting people behind. And I continue to see that with all of these different reports coming out. So this next announcement out of the Federal Reserve from their FOMC meeting that will be wrapping up on July 27th. Again, that's Wednesday, by the way. As that wraps up, the chairman of the Federal Reserve will be coming out and the official announcement will hit the wire as far as what they're going to do with interest rates. According to what I've been seeing, and all the anticipation out there right now, it looks like the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates at a minimum of 75 basis points, 0.75% or 0.75%. Or up to 1%, as in 100 basis points. So that is the range that I'm seeing out there right now. 75 basis points up to 100 basis points. There's really virtually nobody that's coming out saying less than that. And there's not any estimations higher than that. If there were estimations higher than that, that'd be absolutely nuts. But either way, it's coming down to these two figures, and that's what they're anticipating going forward. So it's kind of interesting as well because they're already anticipating that their next meeting in September, they may actually slow things down or even pause. I don't know. Seems kind of weird, right? Why would they go so aggressive now and then all of a sudden come in for a pause in September? Just saying, I've also been talking about this in my other videos as well. If you've been watching, you've been hearing me say this, where I'm anticipating they're probably going to do a pause, which again, doesn't really make sense, does it? I smell a rat, as the saying goes, right? Something doesn't sound right with all this. So maybe they're anticipating and maybe they're figuring out that, hey, our policies aren't working. We need to do something else, right? Again, anyway, I'll continue to watch all this closely, and as I do get more details, I'll bring it to you right here in these videos to help you out and to keep you updated with what's actually going on. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and more importantly, go back and check out some of those other thousands of videos right here on the channel. And of course, share them with your friends, family, and social media as well. There's a lot of good videos out there and a lot of really great content, but make sure to stay tuned as I'm here for you, and things are changing very, very rapidly right now. All right, thanks again. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.